Join me in saying, life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift.
Hi, my name is Chris Holton Jablonski, and it is my great joy and privilege to serve you as your minister. Welcome to worship with First Church. I'm so grateful to have two wonderful people sharing testimonials this morning. Ariane recently retired as chair of the worship committee. She has served the church in a truly dizzying number of ways over the years. I first met her as part of the search committee that brought me here to you all. She's poured herself into summer worship for years, both organizing the services in previous years and in this past year, serving as part of our house band, singing and leading worship so many times. She is a gift to our community, and what she shares today is wonderful. And also Jackie James. Jackie has been part of our church for many, many years and have served in a number of capacities. She has been a bedrock member of the choir, committed and consistent, sharing and creating beautiful music. She's also been a part of the worship committee. Now on her second go-around in this role, she brings so much to our reflections together and to the worship she helps create. I am so grateful to both of them for sharing and to all of you for tuning in. Especially now, it matters that we connect, that we hold one another, and that we are held. That in these moments, especially as we are apart, that we remember this connection, this togetherness. This is the opening of Eyes by David White. That day I saw beneath the dark clouds the passing of light over the water, and I heard the voice of the world speak out. I knew then, as I had before, that life is no passing memory of what has been, nor the remaining pages in a great book waiting to be read. It is the opening of eyes long closed. It is the vision of far-off things, seen for the silence they hold. It is the heart, after years of secret conversing, speaking out loud in the clear air. It is Moses in the desert, fallen to his knees before the lit bush. It is the man throwing away his shoes as if to enter heaven, and finding himself astonished, opened at last, fallen in love with solid ground. Come, let us worship together.
Shine. Hello everyone. My name is Jackie James and I'm a member of the worship committee here at First Church. The theme for this service today is spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions which celebrate the circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. This is a hard one for me. I don't think of myself as a nature lover, having grown up in the hot and humid North Carolina, southern state. The outdoors did not beckon. So even though I have been hiking a lot in my life, I've never had any inclination to hike the 48 of the peaks of New Hampshire's White Mountains or meditated in the woods on a regular basis. But for over 30 years now, I have been walking the hills of Belmont in the early hours of the morning. It all started with the doctor who told me that running was ruining my knees. I began walking up the long hill across from our house. For those of you who know Belmont, it's Prospect Street, steep hill. Panting my way over to Rutledge Road, through the Belmont Hills School, and then down Somerset Street. Yes, that lovely, rugged, ragged, and hardly paved road in the middle of Belmont's nature preserve habitat. Soon, friends began to join me in this walk, almost a different one for each day of the week, and sometimes my husband. The combination was magic. The beauty of the morning, the stars, the moon, then the slow development of the pink sky, along with a friend who shares knowledge of books, shows, politics, activities around town. A friend who cajoles, teases, listens, and comforts in response to everything from the hurt finger to major life crisis. Yes, over 30 years. Sometimes when we come over the crest of the hill on Somerset, we can see the sun rising over the city of Boston. It is an awesome sight, so much so that we stop and say things like, when we're in the nursing home, they're just gonna have to roll us out here every day and let us see this. And then that thought's to, yeah, they're never gonna do that. So then the thought turned to, well, maybe we need to make a video of our walk that we can play on our devices in the nursing home every day and remember. But then the thought changes again and we say, no, we'd have to have a video for every day of the year. Because even though the route is the same, the walk is never the same. The sky looks different every day. The leaves may be beginning to turn, as now. They may be dripping snow. We rejoice when we see them with the first buds in the spring. We see many animals, of course, turkeys. One day we saw dozens of them in big trees, gobbling their heads off, waking up the neighborhood. We've seen deer, even a fox. We see many of the same people in the same spot every morning. We wave, even though we don't know them. One time we told a man that he was late on his route. We walk in the lovely rain. Thus here in my New England home, nature and love beckon, and I begin my day in the awesomeness and the fullness of both.
Good morning. My name is Ariane Frank, and I am a former member of the worship committee. I am extremely fortunate that I had a magical childhood. My parents' good friends, Solveig and Horst, and their young son, Christoph, who is exactly my age, bought a farm in a remote Black Forest valley and radically changed their urban lifestyle to a very rural way of living, where they practiced biodynamic agriculture, a precursor of organic farming. My family visited the Auerhof almost every weekend, and we spent large chunks of every school vacation there. Living there, we knew to give the bees and the geese their space, and we made friends with the sheep, goats, donkeys, horses, cows, the dogs, and countless generations of cats. I was present at the birth as well as the slaughter of animals, the latter always being a somber occasion, respecting the gift we were given. At the Auerhof, we all belonged to each other, the animals, the people, and also the forest and the creek. The grandfather of the family also lived on the farm, Opa Burkhardt. He was a gentle giant of a man, towering over everyone else, with a booming voice he would only use to call the sheep home. Opa Burkhardt was an anthroposophist. He believed that nature spirits, or elemental beings, would sometimes take on the form of living things, big or tiny, plant or animal. So every life was sacred to him. He taught us that we needed to care for and foster a relationship with the natural spirits by caring for the living creatures, big and small. When I recently discovered the song Thinking Like a Mountain by Jan Tiersen, I immediately thought about Opa Burkhardt. The lyrics are taken from an essay by Aldo Leopold, who set forth the idea of the land ethic, a moral responsibility of humans to the natural world. The author suggests that in order to live in harmony and sustainability with the natural world, we need to learn to think more like a mountain, consider the whole and the long-term effects of our actions rather than our own immediate personal needs. This idea resonates deeply with me. I'm not an anthroposophist, but the time on the Auerhof and the wisdom and stories of Opa Burkhardt are with me every day. Especially now in a time where we are so isolated from each other. It centers and soothes me to unfocus from the daily immediate tasks and needs and deepen, widen, and lengthen my view. Noticing the very small, the very big, the long ago and the future, and feeling the deep connection to everything that once was, to what surrounds me now, and to everything that is yet to come. My family smiles when I can't walk past my garden without checking on my plant babies. I'm the master of catching and releasing bugs and spiders in our house, and I'm elated when my flowers feed bees and butterflies. I love taking deep breaths in the forest after summer rain. I love digging my feet in the sand and standing in cold ocean water until it hurts. And I love this poem. The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be. I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Thank you.
We give thanks for lovely, rugged, ragged, hardly paved roads, for paths well trodden which reconstitute us. We give thanks for the beauty of the morning, the stars, the moon, and the slow development of pink sky. We give thanks for coming over the crest and seeing the sun rising over Boston, for walking in lovely rain. We give thanks for the same path never being the same. We give thanks for giving the bees and geese their space and making friends with sheep, goat, donkeys, horses, cows, and countless generations of cats. We give thanks for thinking like a mountain, for our moral responsibility to the natural world. We give thanks for the deepening, widening, lengthening view, for the deep connection to everything that once was. We give thanks for taking deep breaths in the forest after summer rain, for digging our feet in the sand, for resting in the grace of the world and being set free. So much love to you all. Amen.